Hi, my name is Angelo Armento. We're here at the shop here in Seattle for Rigs and Coffee. And right here we have a 1995 Mitsubishi Shogun. It started its life with the inline four-cylinder diesel that we imported out of Finland. Actually, I had a guy in the military that I was in the military too, and he retired, and he messaged me one day and he was like, "Hey man, remember that car overseas that we saw that you wanted here?" I said, yeah, I got it on stock, you want it? And so I didn't pay him besides his expenses and the shipping costs, and he gave it to me. And after that, you know, I used to use it as a daily. That was in 2020. And my issue with the diesel was it was just too slow on the US highways, and my wife is from Spokane, so when we would commute going to those mountain passes, I could not go 70 miles an hour with AC full blast, and I always ended up going to the right side of the highway, and it was either spend, you know, 5-6 grand putting a compound turbo or this with a 3UZ motor, right? I mean, Toyota spent like $1 billion in the late 80s and early 90s to engineer this motor. So we got a transfer case adapter for it that sticks to the T-case, Mitsubishi T-case, the V4AW3 T-case, and everything else, we didn't touch anything from the T-case back, and everything is literally stock, right? So we have the A650E transmission with a 3UZ V8 motor out of the SC430, GS430, and our intention was to make a sleeper build, which I think we achieved here, and everything works. Everything works as such. We still shift on the fly, four-wheeled and whatnot. We don't, you don't have to stop and, you know, do anything. This is literally a daily driver for me. As you can tell once I open this up, so I'm a pilot, and what I do when I go to the schoolhouse is after work I do executive protection at night, and after that I go to the schoolhouse, and I actually literally sleep in here, and this came stock like that. You'll be able to see my blanket and whatnot in the back, and I really live in this. I didn't even clean this car before I came here. I just decided to wake up and decide, hey, let me go to the shop in Seattle and go have some coffee and check out people's rigs. You know, that's really it. So that's what we did here. Yeah, it's really cool. Sorry, like I said, we didn't clean this up. This is just a daily thing. We use this. I use this all the time. Yeah, everything works like stock, like factory. That was our whole intention. We're not trying to build something to just catch attention. We're trying to make a complete sleeper that's super functional. And this thing really, I just smoked a brand new Jeep Rubicon on the highway, and he was very surprised that I dusted him. After about 100 miles an hour, I let go of the gas pedal because it was raining. I didn't want to cause any of that, any accident or whatnot. But we are not done with this car. Our intentions are to put there's this company in Australia that makes manifold for these. So put a Cobra out of the 99 to 2003 SVT M112 supercharger on top. And we should have about 500 to the crank, and about maybe 550 torque. That's our end goal with this. Initially, with this build also, I wanted a 6.4, those Jeeps, those 6.4, it's like 100 grand. But then we thought, hey, what if we can build something out of this Mitsubishi that could outperform that, you know, 470 horse, you know, 4.1 gear ratio on the T-case for that Rubicon, and under half the price, like 35 grand, and it'll outperform a 100 grand car, right? So that was our whole mindset with this. Right now we're about 23 grand into the build. Put in another 10 grand and I think we'll be able to smoke that Jeep all around, either on the trail or on the highway, right? And it's nice to have that feeling, you know, you have an old classic that could smoke these new things, you know, and yeah, so that's really all I got. My 1995 Mitsubishi Shogun. In the US, it's a Montero, and this is Angelo signing off.